Welcome to the channel. As always, my name's Steve. Last week's video, I was going to kind of do a two-part video. One was selling the Ingersoll backhoe, and the other was going to give a update on the new Cub Cadet and what we're going to do with it. So I decided to split them up a little bit just for organization reasoning on my playlists. So with that being said, we'll get right into the video that I recorded yesterday about this tractor and what the plans are. Enjoy! Let's go over the future plans for this Cub Cadet. So the last video, I had asked your opinion, what you thought. Turn this into a roller or crawler or something else. So I'm actually recording this before that video even posts. So like I said a little earlier, I'm not really even going to know what your suggestions or opinions are. And not that they don't matter, but I've already got this planned out in my head of what I want to do with this thing. However, it's a little different than originally planned. So I am going to turn this into a roller. It's not going to look like the prototype pictures that I posted in the last video, and if I think of it, I'll put a picture on here so you can see what I was talking about, or you can just go back and watch that one. But we're going to do something a little different. So though that roller was cool, someone's done that before. I'm not all about copying what someone's already done. I want different, unique, never seen before. So that's what you're going to get out of this one. So you got to put on your little imagination hat here and try to visualize this with me. And if you can't, that's okay. Eventually you'll see it when it comes to fruition. However, this is the plan. As with the Kubota Cadet build, I want to try to keep this as original looking as possible. Meaning, it looks like it came from International and on their Cub Cadet line. So the hood and the engine area will remain the same because that's kind of the most iconic part of it that I think. So let's just imagine this tractor here, and we'll remove the whole front axle, steering assembly and everything. Like that's just all gone and completely out of the picture. I want to take this whole rear end, the rear wheels, the transmission and everything, and I want to completely move it this direction. Alright, bear with me. There's a drive shaft in here that you've seen in the other videos that goes from the clutch to the transmission. And I'd say it's probably about 18 or 20 inches long. That's basically going to come out completely. It might be a little stub shaft, but basically there is not going to be any type of transmission drive shaft on here. The clutch is going to go right into the transmission. What that's going to do is that's going to move these rear wheels somewhere in the vicinity here of the foot peg. The vision is that the front of this tractor is now going to be the back of the tractor. And those rear tires are still going to be the rear tires, but they're up here. Alright? This console will come out, get flipped around, put onto the front with an operator platform. This seat will get flipped. So basically, I'm going to be facing that direction. Right now, it's got a 3-speed forward, 1-speed reverse transmission. There's a ring gear in the differential of this tractor that if I swap from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, will give me, in this configuration, 3 reverse gears and 1 forward gear. But, being as now everything's going to be backwards, this is the back of the tractor and I'm facing that way, it ends up being 3 forward and 1 reverse, like it is now. That roller, it's just a yard roller, 36-inch yard roller, is going to be the roller for the roller tractor. Now the little frame that's on there is real thin and flimsy and it's not going to work. So I'm going to use some 2-inch by 3-inch rectangular channel. We're going to build a nice roller frame for it. And basically it's going to articulate in the front middle area, or what's the back of this present tractor. I know this might be a lot to kind of grasp if you're not seeing my vision here. I'll put up a picture of what a articulating roller looks like. Obviously this is going to be large scale, and but it kind of gives you the idea of what I'm looking at here. So instead of having front tires and rear tires, these rear tires are now still going to be rear tires, but on this end front tire's gone and the roller is the front part. I don't think by doing just that, having the tires here is going to give me the look I'm going for. I really would like to have these tires more back here where the engine area is. So I do believe, because this transmission and differential is the same as the Farmall Cub and the Cub Lowboys, the 185 and the, what is it, 154. That I can use the final drives from those tractors on this transmission and rear end setup. That'll do two things for me. One, it'll kick these wheels out a little bit further outside of the machine. And normally a final drive like on a Farmall Cub is down to give the tractor clearance. On the Lowboys, they kick it forward so that it lowers the tractor and changes the center of gravity. So the final drives on this will also be pointed forward in this orientation, but really towards the back of the new tractor. So with that drive shaft removed, getting the wheels here, and then the final drives pushed this direction, I should be able to have those rear tires somewhere in this hood area. That's the plan. I don't know if that's going to work, but that's the plan. So I've already talked to my buddy Jason Dufour Tractor Parts in Nashville, North Carolina, and he's got a set of Cub Lowboy differentials for me that I think are going to work great on here. We've already got the roller, as you can see, and the nice thing about that roller, well, you can fill it with water to give you some more weight, and you can empty it so that it's not heavy, but it's a pretty standard size for yard rollers. I'd like to have it set up where I can actually remove that roller and put in an aerator, because how cool would that be to have a nice little Cub Cadet aerator to drive around and aerate the lawn with. So kind of dual purpose. The biggest thing for me is the articulation. I've never done that before. I know a lot of people have done it for just garden tractors to look like the bigger ag tractors that are articulated. And if you don't know what I mean by articulating, meaning it pivots in the middle, and that's your steering. So we won't have a steering wheel anymore. I probably will, because I do want to use this console flipped at that end. So again, to kind of keep the Cub Cadet look. I'll probably rig up a hydraulic valve. So instead of moving the valve one way or the other to make the ram move with a lever, it'll be hooked underneath the console to the steering wheel. So when you steer the wheel, it's actually actuating that lever. And then for the articulation, obviously it's going to need some type of hydraulic ram or piston. I'm kind of looking into those now to see what's out there, what's available. I might be able to get away with just one on one side to, you know, kind of give this stroke to turn it both directions. But I may end up putting one on each side, so we'll see how that goes. So the next question you might be asking is, well, this tractor doesn't have hydraulic capabilities, and you're 100% right. However, because it's not going to be a lawnmower anymore, I have another empty belt pulley at the front here that's operated by a lever on this other side. It's a PTO clutch. So when this engine's running, there's a pulley up here with a belt that goes to the starter generator, so that you can actually start the engine and produce power to charge the battery. But it also has another belt spot there for the clutch. And when you engage that PTO clutch, it would normally drive a belt underneath to run the mower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that drive V-belt portion of the pulley to drive a hydraulic pump, basically a power steering pump. The nice thing about that is, because it's a starter generator, meaning the starter spins one way to start the engine, and then once the engine's running, the engine continues to spin that starter, and it transforms it into a generator, which is kind of old term for alternator. So that doesn't really have enough power to run accessories such as a hydraulic pump. Sometimes it takes everything it's got just to start the engine. So what'll be nice about that is I can disengage that PTO clutch when the tractor is off. I can start the tractor, let the engine warm up, come up to temperature, whatever, and I can engage that PTO clutch, and that'll start turning the hydraulic pump, which will then move oil to the rams for steering. So it'll just kind of take a little bit of the load off that starter generator when I'm initially trying to start the engine. Anyway, that's my big plan. Hopefully you're on board to see it come to fruition, and hopefully it will. I don't know. I've never seen a articulating Cub Cadet roller before that can be transformed into an aerator too. I think it's just going to be the coolest thing if I can pull it off and make it happen. You know, moving this transmission and rear end to the front is actually really easy on this model because of the way this frame is shaped. It's the same shape all the way through. It's like it came out of a Play-Doh Fun Factory machine or something, you know. So how it fits in there and bolts in the back, I literally just have to slide it forward and it'll bolt in up here. I mean, of course I'm gonna have to drill some more holes and stuff, but so yeah, there's gonna be some cutting and some fabrication and some welding and, you know, just general tomfoolery, I guess. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. So to add on to that, so having a rear wheel drive tired articulating Cub Cadet roller, you know, I got to go that next little step and add a little more. I got a set of spools for these rear tires so that I can put dual tires on if I decide. So I haven't decided if I want to go that route yet. I have these narrow rims and then the narrow rims that are on the Kubota Cadet. I can put those together, and I get a set of the wide rims that I'll put on the Kubota Cadet. Or if I decide I just don't think the duals are going to look right, then I'll either stick with a single narrow or I got the single wide that can go on here. So we got some other options. But yeah, so that's the reveal, I guess, if you will, or what the plan is ahead. So yeah, we're going to do a Cub Cadet articulating roller slash aerator. Why not? Anyway, hopefully you're excited about this as I am. I've just been kind of in the planning process and gathering parts and pieces and kind of just working it out in my head. As you can see, I haven't done anything to this yet. So that will be the next project. That's what we're going to get working on and try to work through for the winter. We'll kind of see how that goes. The tough part about that is obviously paint. It's going to be hard to get things painted when it's cold, but we'll do some workarounds, you know. Even if we just have to get this thing kind of assembled in a crude, ugly way so that it's, you know, form, fit, function is good, it's just not aesthetically pleasing, aka not painted yet, and wait till the spring, tear it down and paint it, then so be it. But at least it'll be a good working model and we can make sure that it works as designed, at least as designed in my head anyway. So anyway, that's it for this video. As I'm recording this, so let's see, as you're watching this video, I am going to be, if you're watching it the morning that this comes out, which would be Saturday, November 8th, I will be at Bonnie Bright's Plow Day here in Virginia Beach with Sweaty Betty plowing and the Kubota Cadet on display. So stay tuned for that video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Hey, real quick, I look at my analytics, and not that anybody typically makes it to the end of this video to hear this, but if you do, you know, my data shows that like 90% of my viewers are 55 and older. So one thing I just do want to clarify is when I ask you to subscribe to the channel, it's free. It's not like a magazine or a newspaper subscription. I know it's kind of a crazy word that YouTube uses. I don't know why they call it a subscription, because automatically you think you got to pay for something. Absolutely do not. Just got to hit that little subscribe button and you'll see all the videos as they come out. There's a little bell notification, you can hit that too. That'll give you a reminder, hey, Steve put up a new video. So, you know, if you can do that, that'd be great. I think we're sitting at, I think we're a little over 1,700, which is great. I'd love to see if we can hit 2,000 this year. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, for those of you that have been here since the beginning or just joined yesterday, thank you, I appreciate your support. And I'll see you in the next video.